Very good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the class. I hope you all are doing well. So let's begin with the session. And please confirm, is the audio and video good? All right. Okay. Okay, so ESI and finance news. Firstly, we have manufacturing PMI hitting 16 months high, but job creation has witnessed a slowdown. So here the manufacturing PMI has reached 16 months high at 59.1. At how much? 59.1. Okay. But job creation has witnessed a slowdown, and this data has been released by S&P Global. So 59.1, you will remember, according to S&P Global. Then we have Fitch predicting GDP cut, to 6.3% for India. So this is the growth projection by Fitch Ratings. It has cut down India's GDP projections for the current fiscal to 6.3%. Now 6.3%. Why this downward revision is there? Because they are expecting the GDP to slow down as a result of the US based tariffs. So higher US tariffs, you all know, are in news on Indian corporates. That's why this downwards revision is there. Then India's gross GST collections, they have rose by 7.5% year-on-year basis in July 2025. So this is regarding GST. The GST collections, they rose to 1.96 lakh crores in the month of July. How much? 1.96 lakh crores. Okay, which is 6% higher than in the previous month, the June month. Also in April 2025, GST hit a record high of 2.37 lakh crores. अगर हम अप्रैल के डेटा की बात करें, it was very high, 2.37 lakh. So remember, for July, 1.96 lakh crores will be there. Moving ahead, India has launched projects under India UN Global Capacity Building Initiative. So India and UN Global Capacity Building Initiative में इन्होंने कुछ projects launch किए हैं. 4 projects have been identified for implementation, like rice fortification and supply chain management in Nepal with support of World Food Programme, digital health platform for Zambia and Lao PDR with support from UNDP, census preparedness in Belize, Barbados, St. Kitts and Nevis, Suriname and Trinidad and Tobago with support of UN Population Fund. So census preparedness in these countries. Then vocational training program for South Sudan with support from UNESCO. So remember these projects and which project is being supported by which organizations. All the organizations you can see here are the international institutions. They are very, very important. Some of them are UN's organs only. Okay, so that was about ESI and finance segment. Now moving ahead with the regulatory news. First of all, SEBI now plans larger quota for institutions in big IPOs and trims the retail share here. So basically, SEBI has proposed this change to large initial public offering, suggesting more shares for the institutional buyers and fewer for retail investors. So basically, they want more shares to be there for institutional buyers. Okay, and less in comparison to institutional buyers for the retail ones, for the retail investors. Now, what is the recommendation? For any IPO exceeding 5,000 crores rupee mark, exceeding 5,000 crore mark, the allocation of institutions will be raised gradually फ्रॉम 50% to 60%, यानी इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर्स को जो एलोकेशन होगा इट हैज बीन रेज्ड टू 60% फॉर IPOs एक्सीडिंग 5,000 crores of mark. So it has been raised to 60%, while retail investor quota has been reduced to 25%. So remember both of them. Okay. Also, basically ये क्यों किया गया? Because the recent market trends are like this only. They are marked by robust mutual fund inflows and larger IPO sizes. That's why. Presently, if you see companies which are valued at over 1 trillion rupees, they must dilute at least 5% in an IPO. तो ये current आपका norm है. जिनका भी valuation is more than 1 trillion rupees, they have to dilute at least 5% through IPO. Okay. Now, the regulator is planning to halve this requirement. अभी जो हमने देखा कि at least 5% you should dilute via IPO. Now, they are also proposing to reduce it to half of it. That is 2.5%. So, this is just a proposal as of now to reduce it to 2.5%. Also, SEBI has proposed expanding the anchor investor framework to include insurers and pension funds alongside the mutual funds. So anchor investors basically कौन होते हैं? Anchor investors are these investors. They invest into an IPO before it opens to the public, right? Public के लिए जब open होता है उससे पहले they invest into it. Now they are also proposing that anchor investor framework would be expanded and insurers, pension funds, mutual funds, all these will be included into this. Alright. It also suggested raising the reserved portion for these investors to 40% up from 30%. So इनका जो reserved portion होगा for the anchor investors will also be increased. Now you see these all are institutional investors, right? Pension funds, mutual funds. So basically overall they want to increase the participation of institutional investors. Out of this 40%, 1/3 would still be kept for mutual funds. 7% would be allocated to insurers and pension funds. Okay? Currently there is no reserved quota, anchor quota for insurers or pension funds, but अभी इन्होंने propose किया है कि 7% would be there. So remember, 7% would be there reserved for pension funds and insurers. Okay? Currently, as of now, it is not there. Then next one again from SEBI. SEBI has proposed to widen the institutional investment in REITs and InvITs. तो REITs और InvITs में भी जो आपका रियल एस्टेट और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन्वेस्टमेंट फंड है, इन दोनों में भी दे आर प्रपोजिंग टू वाइडन इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टमेंट. लेट्स सी व्हाट इज इट. सो इट हैज प्रपोज्ड अलाउइंग फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स and qualified institutional buyers to participate as strategic investors. Okay, strategic investors भी लगभग वही concept है. They receive the allocation before an issue opens. So before the issue opens, they receive the allocation. These are strategic investors. So basically, SEBI has proposed that now foreign investors and qualified institutional buyers will also be participating as strategic investors in real estate investment trust, the REITs and the InvITs. दोनों में participate करेंगे. Why? Of course, we want more capital to flow into these segments, right? We want more capital. Simple, as simple as that. So strategic investors, as I told you, they receive the allocation before the issue opens, and they are required, remember, to invest at least 5% and up to 25% of the total offer size in REITs and InvITs. So at least 5% and up to 25% of the total offer size they will be investing in REITs and InvITs. So if we have more such strategic investors like foreign investors, qualified institutional buyers into this category, more of them will be investing the part of the offer size into REITs and InvITs. So REITs and InvITs will be witnessing more of capital flow. Clear? Right? But here remember, foreign investors except individuals, body corporates and family offices can invest here only. So exclusions आपको ध्यान रखने हैं. Exclusions are individuals, body corporates and family offices. They are not allowed. Okay, next one. Choice AMC gets SEBI nod to launch mutual fund operations with ETFs. So the financial services company Choice International arm, Choice AMC, has received a final approval from SEBI. Now it would be commencing its operations as an asset management company, AMC. Okay, remember the name. Then RBI has recently approved the merger of New India Cooperative Bank with Saraswat Bank. तो ये बहुत important आपके लिए हो सकता है. You would remember this. Merger of New India Cooperative Bank with the largest urban cooperative bank, which is Saraswat Cooperative Bank, and it is coming in effect from 4th of August only, from today only. Then SEBI has proposed stricter norms for green bond reviewers to curb conflicts. So basically SEBI has proposed to tighten the norms to appoint independent third-party reviewers or certifiers for green debt securities. जितने भी आपकी green debt securities हैं, for example green bonds, उनको review करने के लिए, उनको certify करने के लिए, to ensure that they meet the exact requirements, they want to tighten the norms. Okay, they meet the ESG requirements. So current status basically क्या है? Current norms, they lack detailed requirements around reviewers' independence, that whosoever is reviewing its quality, its compliance, how much independent that entity is, right? So it is not in that much depth. What are the proposed norms here? Under the proposed norms, the issuers of green debt securities now will need to appoint reviewers who are independent of their management. They should not be a part of their management. They are not directors, they are not key managerial personals, so they need to ensure this. Also, the reviewers will be remunerated in a way that prevents any conflict of interest and possess relevant expertise in the ESG debt securities. They should have relevant expertise as well of the field. Okay. Also, the scope of the review conducted by the independent third party will be specified in the offer document, and the reviewer must provide or may provide second party opinions, verifications, second party opinion bhi you can provide. Also, SEBI registered ESG rating providers can act as reviewers subject to the same conditions. They should not be related to the managerial positions, should not be related to directors or management personals, right? So these are the requirements. Banking news की बात करते हैं. Now recently, the UPI limits to KYC verification have been changed. They are coming in effect from 1st August. Any recent development or important development related to UPI, you know, is important for examination, right? तो UPI आप ज़रूर इसको ढंग से रिवाइज करेंगे. From 1st August, several important financial changes they are going to come into effect. Key reforms की अगर हम बात करें, पर्पस इसका बेसिकली क्या है? All these reforms, UPI transactions in value and volume are on a constant rise. We have been following them in the data constantly in the CA, you know that, right? So we want to ensure speed and stability of UPI payment infrastructure and system basically during the peak hours, particularly those hours जब maximum transaction होता है, we want to maintain the stability, right? So these reforms of course have been initiated by NPCI. Let's see what are the key changes. First of all, if you look at the balance check limit, now maximum of 50 balance checks. How many? 50 balance checks per day per app will be provided. Okay, so per day per app, यानी separately, like you are doing it from phone पे, Google पे, तो separately 50 per app है, combine नहीं है. Then auto pay restrictions, recurring payments जैसे बिल्स एटसेट्रा आपको पे करने हैं, सब्सक्रिप्शन पे करने हैं, दे विल बी अलाउड ओनली ड्यूरिंग नॉन पीक आवर्स। तो अब आप ऐसे जो पेमेंट करेंगे, जो रिकरिंग पेमेंट्स हैं लाइक बिल पेमेंट्स एंड ऑल, दे विल बी अलाउड ड्यूरिंग नॉन पीक आवर्स। नॉन पीक आवर्स बिफोर 10 AM, 1 PM to 5 PM and after 9:30 PM. Only during this time they will be allowed. ट्रांजैक्शन स्टेटस चेक करना है अगर आपको, it would be limited to 3 times per transaction. You can check it only 3 times per transaction and there must be a gap of 90 seconds between the checks separately. 90 seconds का gap होना चाहिए. बैंक अकाउंट व्यू लिमिट मैक्सिमम 25 views per day per application for bank account view limit. Okay, then beneficiary name display, the sender will see recipient's registered bank name before the payment so that fraudulent transactions can be prevented. So remember these things, all of them are important. Okay, then related to this we have trading hours extended according to RBI. RBI का एक अपडेट है जिसमें ट्रेडिंग आवर्स इन्होंने एक्सटेंड किए हैं फॉर इम्प्रूविंग द लिक्विडिटी इन द मनी मार्केट. तो मनी मार्केट के ट्रेडिंग आवर्स हैव बीन एक्सटेंडेड. लेट्स सी. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल phase 1 which is effective from 1st July. In phase 1 they are covering the call money market. Call money market you know is the interbank transactions market for one day, overnight, right? Call money market, new timing would be 9 AM to 7 PM. 9 AM to 7 PM. Phase 2 effective from 1st of August. Markets here covered are repo and tri-party transactions. तो रेपो और ट्राई पार्टी, रेपो यहाँ पर हमने कवर किया है. द न्यू टाइमिंग हियर इज 9 AM to 4 PM. कुछ और चेंजेस यहाँ पर आपको ध्यान रखना है. द स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, it has announced discontinuation of complimentary air accident insurance on several of its co-branded credit cards. तो SBI ने recently जितने भी इसके co-branded credit cards हैं उन पे complimentary air accident insurance जो दे रहा था उसको discontinue किया है. This is just an additional fact. So remember these two timings. Call money market के लिए 9 AM to 7 PM and market repo tri-party repo के लिए 9 AM to 4 PM. चलिए आगे देखते हैं. UPI has stopped ₹25 trillion in July. So UPI transactions basically have reached 19.47 billion in July, which is 6% increase from the previous month. The transactions were worth ₹25.08 trillion. So UPI you see is on a constant rise. Then ICICI Bank to levy fees on payment aggregators for UPI services. So it is announced after the Yes Bank and Axis Bank they are doing already. ICICI Bank is likely to charge payment aggregator for UPI transactions starting from 1st of August. 1st of August से ही they will be charging a fees from the payment aggregators. Now, a payment aggregator or for payment aggregators with escrow account at ICICI Bank, fees would be 2 basis points per transaction. Cap है 6 rupee per transaction. It would not go beyond 6 rupee per transaction, but they will calculate it as 2 basis points per transaction for payment aggregators with escrow account at ICICI Bank. Escrow account क्या होता है? Escrow account basically is a third party intervention. दो पार्टी के बीच में जो भी ट्रांजैक्शन, जैसे हम एग्जांपल लेते हैं रियल एस्टेट का, ठीक है, रियल एस्टेट का एग्जांपल लेते हैं. There is suppose a buyer and a developer, right? Now there will be a third party who will be managing their funds. Buyer ने अपना पैसा दिया, escrow जो भी escrow यहाँ पर है third party, that would be holding that fund, given a contract कि developer meets certain criteria, उसके बाद ही वो पेमेंट रिलीज करेंगे. तो इससे दोनों पार्टीज को फायदा है. The investor or the buyer gets assurance that the project would be completed. ठीक है. हाँ, एक्सपोर्ट्स इंपोर्ट्स में भी यूज होता है. तो बेसिकली ट्रांजेक्शन श्योरिटी के लिए, पेमेंट टाइमली हो जाए, ऑल्सो द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज नॉट वायलेटेड. The developer also gets ensured that the fund will be there. Once I complete it, it would be released. So these are escrow services. They are provided by companies, particularly export, import, and you see real estate, they are being used. So for escrow account holders, it would be 2 basis points. And for payment aggregators without escrow account at ICICI Bank, it would be calculated as 4 basis points per transaction, and the cap would be rupees 10 per transaction here. Yes, temporary account in order to ensure realization of transaction by both. Exactly. Okay. So remember these two. No fee will be applicable if the payment aggregator settles directly into ICICI Bank merchant accounts. Okay. While the government mandates that the merchant discount rate for UPI transactions remains 0, NPCI charges banks a switch fee and some banks pass on this to the PS. तो आपको पता है कि गवर्नमेंट ने यह मैंडेट किया है कि जो मर्चेंट डिस्काउंट रेट है फॉर यूपीआई ट्रांजैक्शंस वो 0 होगा, लेकिन कई बार NPCI चार्ज करता है कुछ फीस जिसको ये बैंक्स पास ऑन करते हैं, like these banks. So remember Axis and Yes Bank, they are already doing that. Now ICICI will be in the row. Let's talk about national news now. The National Archives of India is set to organize an exhibition. The title would be Development of Education in Northeastern India. So this is the exhibition they are organizing. Development of Education in Northeastern India on 8th of August is going to be there. Okay. And remember, the National Archives is the nodal agency for implementation of Public Records Act. Public Record Rules 1997. बस इतना ही आपको ध्यान रखना है. Then next one is Food Safety Connect application has been launched. So FSCA basically has asked all the food business operators to display their FSCA license registration certificate with a QR code of the Food Safety Connect app aimed at safeguarding public health. तो इन्होंने बोला है जितने भी फूड बिजनेस ऑपरेटर्स हैं they will have to display their FSCA registration certificate with QR code of Food Safety Connect app so that people can quickly scan it, then they can get the exact information about it. Okay, safeguarding the public health. Now who has developed this app? Food Safety Connect app, ये आपको पता ही होगा. It has been developed by FSCA, which allows consumer to lodge complaints regarding food safety and hygiene issues, report any misleading claims on the food products or information of the ingredients, etc. All right. Now, this can also be important. The VOC port becomes first Indian port to produce green hydrogen and surpass 1 megawatt of solar power as well. So the VO Chidambarnar port in Toothukudi has become the first Indian port to successfully produce green hydrogen and achieve over 1 megawatt of rooftop power generation. तो ये आप ध्यान रखेंगे because green hydrogen से related questions आपके लिए important है. Okay, so remember this VOC port, it can be asked because this is first to do this. Then India Post Payment Bank has started Aadhaar based face authentication for digital banking. So in the race of digitization now, India Post Payment Bank has launched a nationwide Aadhaar based face authentication for customer transactions, enhancing security and convenience. Also, this feature has been developed by UIDAI. It allows banking transactions via facial recognition. Ab facial recognition hoga, so there will be no need of fingerprints or OTPs. So recently the frauds coming through OTPs, there's a constant doubt being created whether the OTP is correct, whether the source is correct, right? So eliminating all these fears and fraudulent chances of frauds, India Post Payment Bank has initiated this under the mission आपका बैंक आपकी द्वार. Remember, under the mission आपका बैंक आपके द्वार. Then we have railways rolling out Kavach 4.0 on Mathura Kota section for safety boost. Kavach क्या है? Kavach basically Indian Railways का security system है, which basically ensures non-collision, right? So it ensures non-collision. It is indigenous anti-collision system. Kavach 4.0, they have introduced this on Mathura Kota section of the rail network, which is part of the broader Delhi-Mumbai route. ये आप ध्यान रखेंगे. And also remember, the Kavach was adopted as national ATP system in July 2020. Now this is the 4th version of it. State news की बात करते हैं. Tamil Nadu has launched School of Semiconductor Initiative. School of Semiconductor. Aim, of course, is to address workforce readiness, because semiconductor is future, so they want to create such workforce which would be ready to work towards semiconductor related factories in the semiconductor fab processing facilities. Okay. So remember, they have launched a dedicated school of semiconductor. Then MOUs. First of all, the MOU of ICAI and NSE International Exchange and ICAI and IBCA. Now these MOUs have been signed particularly for investor awareness, international investments, professional development in the capital markets. MOU with IBCFUC has been signed for creation of expert groups on alternative capital, standardization of financial reporting frameworks, also industry-led consultation for framework development. तो NSE International Exchange के साथ इन्होंने launch किया है particularly for investor awareness, and with IBCA they have launched this for standardization of financial reporting and all. Remember that. Science and technology. We have human outer planet exploration, HOPE. So first of all, remember what does HOPE stands for? Human outer planet exploration. So there's a Bangalore-based space company, Protoplanet. It has launched this HOPE station in Ladakh's Sokar region. लद्दाख के सोकार region में इन्होंने इसको launch किया है. Okay, remember Protoplanet. होप की फुल फॉर्म भी आप याद रखेंगे, ह्यूमन आउटर प्लेनेटरी कंडीशन. अब बेसिकली क्या है ये? दिस इज काइंड ऑफ अ रिसर्च स्टेशन. तो रिसर्च स्टेशन है, और लद्दाख की ये जगह क्यों चूज की जाती है इन सब के लिए? बिकॉज वी हैव अ डार्क स्काई रिजर्व एज वेल इन लद्दाख, राइट? सो देयर इज लेस ऑफ लाइट पोल्यूशन एंड ऑल, विच इज बेस्ट सूटेड फॉर एस्ट्रोनॉमिकल एंड स्पेस बेस्ड ऑब्जर्वेशंस. So this is a research station where selected crew starting from 1st August will take turn inhabiting the station as part of 10-day isolation mission. Indices and rankings. DLF has retained the title as India's most valuable real estate company in a latest ranking. तो ranking क्या है? 2025 Grohe Hurun India Real Estate 150. In terms of value, so valuation most valued. In terms of value, the company which is topped is DLF Limited. Second is the Lodha Group, and third is Indian Hotels Company Limited. Top cities by company count: Mumbai, 42 companies. Second, Bangalore, and third, New Delhi. Sector-wise focus: residential real estate has topped 67%. Residential real estate has topped it. Second is commercial, and third is hospitality. If you look at the combined value of India's most valuable real estate companies on the list, it's stands at 16 lakh crores. So just remember these things. In terms of valuation, it has been topped by DLF. In terms of cities, topped by Mumbai. And in terms of sector-wise distribution, has been topped by residential real estate. Awards की बात करते हैं. 71st National Film Awards have been announced. Categories 3 हैं. 2023 Best Writing on Cinema, 2023 Non-Feature Films Section, 2023 Feature Films Section. So these are the 3 categories here. First category, let's see. 2023 Best Writing on Cinema. इसकी एक सब कैटेगरी है. Award for all these are the subcategories. Award for Best Film Critic. The winner is Utpal Dutt, which is for the Assamese film. Okay. Then Best Non-Feature Film, Flowering Man in Hindi, directed by Soumyajit Ghosh. Best Debut Film of a Director, Mao, The Spirit Dreams of Cherao. Then Best Short Film up to 30 minutes, Gidh the Scavenger. These are the subcategories and their winners under the... Okay. So this is the category, subcategory for Best Writing on Cinema, and 23 Non-Feature Film section में these are subcategories. Okay, तो 2 हमने categories यहाँ पर discuss की हैं. इसके बाद the third broad category for Feature Film section. Best Feature Film goes to 12th Fail. Remember, you all must have watched this. Best Feature Film goes to 12th Fail, directed by Vidhu Vinod Chopra. Then Best Debut Film of a Director goes to Atma Pamphlet, which is a Marathi film. Then Best Direction goes to the Kerala Story in Hindi. Then Best Actor in Leading Role goes to Shah Rukh Khan for Jawan. Best Actress in a Leading Role, Rani Mukherjee for Chatterjee versus Norway. Best Actor in Supporting Role goes to Vijay Raghavan for movie Pokkalam, which is a Malayalam movie. And then Muthupeti, Somu Bhaskar for Parking. These are the awards. Broad categories and their subcategories. Also, we have other categories like Best Actress in Supporting Role goes to Urvashi. Then Best Film in AVGC, Animation, Visual Effects and Gaming, Comic. ये segment आप ज़रूर याद रखेंगे because AVGC nowadays is very much in news. We have seen these sectors emerging as a part of Orange Economy, also as a part of your Wave Summit, right? So Hanuman is the winner here. Then Best Hindi Film goes to Kathal, a jackfruit mystery directed by Yashovardhan Mishra. Alright, so that was about the 71st awards. Union Minister Gadkari has now been honored with 43rd Lokmanya Tilak National Award for good governance, better governance, innovative governance, right? So remember, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari has been honored with this 43rd Lokmanya Tilak National Award. Let's see the sports. So first event is World Table Tennis Championship. Indian men and women table tennis teams have been booked for that. So not such important one, just remember, going to happen in London. Then first Esports World Cup Chess held at Riyadh. The winner is Magnus Carlsen from Norway. Then mascot of Asia Rugby Under 20 Championship has been unveiled. So remember this as well. The Bihar CM has unveiled the mascot of Asia Rugby Under 20 Championship to be held at Rajgir. The mascot has been named as Ashoka. Remember, mascot has been named as Ashoka, which is a rabbit and symbolizes agility, which is key requisite for this game. Okay, so remember the name of the mascot. And that's it for the news. Now top 5 MCQs. First question. Fitch Rating has recently cut down India's GDP projection for current fiscal year to how much percentage? Tell me. 6.3. Very good. 6.3. Option B. Then SEBI has proposed changes to large IPOs, suggesting more shares for institutional buyers and fewer for the retail investors. Accordingly, IPOs exceeding 5,000 crores, allocation for institutional investors has been raised, while retail investor quota has been reduced to how much percent? 25%. Very good. So for retail investors, the quota has been reduced to 25%. Then from 1st of August, several important financial changes will be coming into effect regarding UPI. So maximum how many balance checks will be allowed per day per application? Balance checks 50, right? Option B. Then which of the following recently has launched a nationwide Aadhaar based face authentication, eliminating the need for OTP and fingerprints? India Post Payment Bank. Very good. Option A, right? Then 2025 Grohe Hurun India Real Estate 150 ranking is out. It has been topped in value terms. So in terms of valuation, I am asking you, it has been topped by DLF, right? Option C, DLF Limited. Now homework question for today. The mascot of Asia Rugby Championship has been named as which of the following? तो आप लोग सब comment section में बताएंगे mascot. In the last class, the question was regarding concessional rate of fees from government guarantee applicable to, institutional borrowings like for NABARD. So yes, it is 0.1%. All of you have given the correct answer. Alright, and that's it for today's session. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I hope you have enjoyed the class and revise the regulatory news thoroughly now because it's closer to the examination and with this the importance increases. Okay then, have a good day. See you in the next session tomorrow.